So the company that I work for is EANS, was HSLI, is a group company. It's not that so far well known in the Western world, let's call it like that, but it's like an alphabet of the Middle East. So the company literally does everything from telecom, internet, robotics, satellites, entertainment, mobility, food apps, hotels, passage, everything. So every time I go talk to a team, finance, payments, health, every time I find out something new that the company does. So basically everything that Masha said over here, the company operates in, so far up to this moment, 40 countries, almost 100,000 employees, more than 50 million clients, operates in every single country in the Arab regions. So every single thing that was said is like day-to-day operations over there. And we have been like rolling out, our basis is the UAE, and I have been rolling out a privacy program that it is not only focused in the UAE, because it cannot be. So it is the privacy program. It was designed in a way that it would be easier to say that it is inspired by global GDPR standards, as all of the companies like to say, just sound beautiful. But it was updated recently in order to be able to be flexible to a point to receive constant updates and changes when new laws come into effect, when new interpretations are given by the regulators, and some enforcement actions as you have over here. So I'll take, for example, here, the one that we have from the GFC. Without mentioning names, it was a company from the group. And I found out later it was a company for the group, because like that. And the entire enforcement action was based on EDPB guidelines. So very beautifully written. It is available online, but the targeting criteria over there, the extraterritorial effect that was over there, it was based on EDPB's targeting criteria. And also even literally quoting some of the sections that you see on EDPB guidelines and decisions of the Court of Justice in that sense. And GIFC, for those who have not been in Dubai, and I extend the invitation to at least be there next year for the Global Privacy Assembly over there. And Stuart was also already mentioning that he might organize some pre-events over there. So, together over there. GFC, it's a neighborhood. It's a small neighborhood. It is that it has its own data protection law. It has its own data protection authority. And it basically saying that the initial interpretation was that if you are established there, a lot of financial institutions established there because of the type of regulation that you have over there, it would apply. But now with the extraterritorial effect, it says that you don't need to be established there. So basically, if somehow you provide some type of services such as sending SMSs to people that are located there, it can be extended to that way. So that's the kind of thing that we face on a daily basis over there. But one of the I think right now, so after this incubation period of 9 months that I've been in the region, one of the biggest challenges that I face is the level of maturity when you are discussing these issues that are in place as we have here. Not only within the organizations, because as I mentioned, my breakfast was a GSAR, and people didn't know what to do around that. But even when you are talking with the regulators, a lot of them, and Marsha here has this constant interaction with regulators all around the region, most of the times they are learning as they are applying the law. That is not uncommon. I'm using to deal with regulators from all around the world as well, and even some of the most mature regulators that we know, the usual suspects, they learn. I remember when we were discussing generative AI, that was the kind of issue. But literally there, it's like they ask us sometimes for our guidance on how to apply the law. There's the kind of thing that takes place. And as you have here this fragmented enforcement, you are able to identify areas and regions which are more risky from this particular point. And a big, very important element that I learned there is that they're not really fines, and the amount of fines is not really what's going to define if something will be, as a measure, going to be implemented. Organizations, and even the region, they are very much worried about their image and reputation. It's really rare to hear any organization authority in the region to say, I made a mistake. It was a failure. So it's kind of something that in other Western worlds you say, let's learn from our mistakes. You don't hear them saying, we made mistakes. So when you see an organization says, I got a fine of $20,000, that's pocket money for some of them in the region. But what it goes into a public comment about, and everybody commenting about, that has a lot of downstream effects on the organization. So, for example, when we get Saudi Arabia here, SADAI has been enforcing that. There has no, as much as I mentioned here, there has been no enforcement action, but only the threats over there that they might file an investigation against an organization there, and that may become public, triggers board discussions about the need to comply and work with the regulator. So this is the kind of thing that, this nuanced thing that you see on every single day. The need for upskilling and learning over there is gigantic. So I'm originally from Brazil, and I see what's happening in the region, kind of what was Brazil like 10 years ago, even before we had, there was a data protection law in the region. So the basic concepts and idea that you have to put in place in order to educate people on everything. So I believe in until 2026, and if we had a crystal ball over here, and the way that things operate over there, because we're going to have the Global Privacy Assembly there, and this is going to be showcased all around the world, a lot of the countries in the region, in UAE mostly, may use that as an opportunity to say, oh, you know, remember, like nothing has been enforced, maybe we're going to start to enforce tomorrow.